All right, number 12. Judah Matthews has a question. Hey, Judah. About James 4, verses 13 through 17. The conclusion in verse 17 seems unrelated to verses 13 through 16. I don't see how it relates specifically to not boasting about tomorrow. Is it just a general statement that could be said after any command? All right, let's look at James with that in mind. Does verse 17, is it connected somehow to the previous 4 verses? So James, chapter 4, verse 13 through 17. Come now, you who say, today or tomorrow, we will go to such and such a city and spend a year there, buy and sell and make a profit, whereas you do not know what will happen tomorrow. For what is your life? It is even a vapor that appears for a little time and then vanishes away. Instead, you ought to say, if the Lord wills, we shall live and do this or that. But now you boast in your arrogance. All such boasting is evil. Therefore, to him who knows to do good and does not do it, to him it is sin. I mean, I'm with you. I'm with you, Judah. Like I go, okay, this feels like a different issue we're dealing with here. Here we're talking about boasting and the way we treat tomorrow. It's okay to make plans, guys. You can make plans, but just realize that you're not totally in control. And ultimately, if God wills, we'll live and we'll do this. But I don't want to be arrogant about my life and my plans and ignorant of God's ultimate control. But what's the therefore? That's the question. This is what Bible teachers always say. If you see a therefore, ask what it's there for. And it's like, well, I don't know. I mean, and if I don't see an answer in the immediate context, the 2 options are, well, I reread it, rethink about it, try to figure out how this connects to that. Or I back up and I look at the more broad context. Right? So I look at more broad context and I look at James is dealing with a whole lot of different issues. Right? He's dealing with all kinds of issues. He's dealing with the way we use our tongue. He deals with what real wisdom is versus what we think is wisdom, and how we should be without partiality and without hypocrisy and peacemakers. When we pray, we should not do it to obtain our carnal desires, but we should pray for the glory of God. We should not be friends with the world, but be enemies of God. So he's just like a laundry list of a bunch of things, right? He talks about how humility, I'm looking at the headline here in the New King James, humility cures worldliness. So it's, submit to God, resist the devil, draw near to God, all these things, not judging your brother in the wrong way, not boasting about tomorrow. It's possible that the therefore in verse 17 is meant to summarize a whole bunch of content that he's shared. And so what James has done is he's like, look, I've talked about this and this and this and this and this and this. Therefore, to him who knows to do good and does not do it, to him it is sin. Hey guys, I've tried to open your eyes to a bunch of areas where you may be dealing with sin. And now I'm reminding you, if you know what you should do, that's good, and you don't, that's sin. And so I would look at it as encompassing a larger section. That seems to let the therefore, be more easily understood as to what it's there for. All right.